A Burgling Incident by Arthur Morrison. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. A Burgling Incident, published in the Melbourne Argus on the 27th of May, 1905. Snorky, as described by Mr. Arthur Morrison in Pall Mall magazine, tells a very interesting tale of his experiences as a burglar. At the time he is interviewed, he is anxious to be provided with means to pay a holiday excursion to the country, so as to be out of the way when two of his former "pals" get their discharge from jail. "Ginger Bates will be out in a day or two, and Joe Kelly too, both together." Ginger Bates and Joe Kelly had experienced the misfortune, some months more than 2 years back, to be sentenced to 3 years' penal servitude. By the ordinary operation of the prison system, with prudence and good luck, they must soon be released. "What's this, then?" I said. "You haven't been narking, have you?" "Me? Narking?" Snorky glared indignantly, and, in fact, the sin of the informer was the sole transgression of which I could never have really suspected him. "No, I ain't been narking. I ain't been narking, but I don't want to see Ginger Bates and Joe Kelly when they come out. Not both on 'em together, anyhow. After a week or two they'll split out after other things, and it won't matter so much, but when they first come out they'll be together, and the first thing they'll do, they'll ask after me. I don't want to be at home just then." "Why?" "Ginger Bates and Joe Kelly have got their eye on a nice place in the country for a bust," Snorky proceeded, meaning thereby that his two friends had in view a burglary at a country house. "It was a nice medium sort of place, not too big, but well worth doing, and they got me to go down and take the measure of it for a few days, them not wanting to show theirselves in the neighbourhood, of course. So they gives me a quid for extras and a few sheets of glass in a glazier's frame with a lump of putty and a knife on it, and I umps the lot and starts. Of course I was to take my whack when they'd done the job. Nothing better than a glazier's caper if you want to run the rule over a likely place. Buying bottles and bones does pretty well sometimes, but you don't get the same chances. It was pretty nigh 2 hours' run out on the Rattler, and then a 4-mile walk. Very good weather, and I put in a day or two doing it easy in the sun. It was a first-rate place, quite nobby. I had a good look at it from outside the garden wall, and I asked a few questions at the pub and what not. After that I went in by the back way, with my glass on my back, and I had luck straight away, for I see a pantry window broke. So I had a good look round first, and then I went along, very humble and civil to everybody, and got the job to mend that window. More luck. They let me do the window, me offering to do it cheap, and so I sets to work steady enough, with a slavey coming to pipe me round the corner every now and then to see as I didn't pinch nothing. And of course I didn't. I behaved most industrious and honest, and you might have made a picture of me, facsimilar, to go in front of a bloomin' tract, and done it credit too. But while the slavey was a-piping me, I was a-piping the pantry. What-oh! I was a-piping the pantry with my little eye, and there's more bloomin' luck, for if ever I see a wedge kip in all my natural puff, I see one fine and large under the shelf in that bloomin' pantry. The luck I had all through that job was just heavenly." Heavenly might not have been the appropriate word in the strictly moral view, but since by the wedge kip Snorky indicated the plate basket of the unsuspecting householder, I understood him well enough. "It was just heavenly. I never had sich luck before nor since. So I finished the job very slow, and took my money very humble, and a glass of beer as they sent out for me, and prattled away to the village and sent off a little screed by the post for Ginger and Joe to come along to-morrow night and do the job peaceful and pleasant. You'd see the new putty I put in peel out on your finger, and it only meant taking out the pane and opening the catch to do the job. Well, I put up cheap at the smallest pub, and in the morning I went out for a walk. Being a glazier, you know, 'Twouldn't ha' done for me not to go on the tramp like as if it was after a job. So off I went along the road, and it was about the hottest stroll ever I took. It was a hot day, without any extras, but you don't know what a hot day's like till you tramp in it with the sun on your back and 2 or 3 thicknesses of window glass for it to shine through. I took the loneliest road out of the village, not wanting to be called on for another job, and not wanting to be seen more'n I could help. The next stage of Snorky's story, though fully and picturesquely told by Mr. Morrison, must be disposed of in a few sentences. After a long tramp, Snorky came to a lonely inn and a travelling house van, one of the cabins mounted on wheels which are used nowadays in England by persons who wish to go touring without putting up at inns en route. The tourist on this occasion was an eccentric gentleman, driven by an old man totally deaf. After the van had passed the inn, Snorky followed it up, and to his surprise came upon the tourist at a lonely spot, stark naked. The tourist had got down to take a bath in a portable bath, which he carried in the van. While he was enjoying himself, the deaf driver had driven off absent-mindedly with the tourist's clothes. An arrangement was come to by which Snorky should lend the tourist his coat, run after the house van, stop it, and make it return. Snorky, almost breathless with a long-distance trot, caught up the van and jumped into it by the back door. Once within, temptation proved too much for him. He possessed himself of the tourist's best clothes, also his watch, chain, cash, and a handy kit-bag. Dropping out of the van, he found a retired spot off the lane, put on the tourist's suit, hung his own on the hedge, and waited a good while he saw the tourist come lamely along with bare feet, sore from walking. Snorky felt sure that the tourist, on seeing the garments on the hedge, would make use of them. So, with a light mind, as he had by this time completed his own toilet and made himself look like a swell, he departed. I got off as soon as I could to the place where I put in the pantry window, and I took the window out again just after dusk, and did the show for half the wedge in the kipsy spoons and forks in me pockets, and the rest in the kit bag. That was my new idea, you see. And then I come through the shrubbery and out the front way, and at the gate I met the very slavey as was piping me when I put in the pantry window. She looked pretty hard, so I puts on a voice like a marquis, and says, "Good evening," I says, very sniffy and condescending as I went past. And she says, "Good evening, sir," and lets me go. Oh, I can do it saucy, I tell ye, when I've got him on. I went all out for the station and caught a train snug. I see Ginger Bates and Joe Kelly comin' off the train as I got there, but I dodged 'em all right, and did the wedge in the next day for 30 quid and 25 bob for a photo camera. Ought to have been more. So I pulled off a merry little double event. I never had such a day's luck as I had that day, all through. It was heavenly. "And that is all you know of the affair?" I asked. "All that's got to do with me," replied the unblushing Snorky. "But it's off with the van. His troubles wasn't over. He was in the papers next day, locked up for housebreaking. It seems they missed the stuff out of the plate basket soon after I'd gone, and the slavey that piped me going out gave a description of me in the nobbly tweed suit, and someone remembered seeing just such a bloke go past in a carry van. It may have fetched novelty for the halfpenny papers. Gentleman burglar in a travelling van, especially when he was found disguised as a glazier in my old clovers, and his frame of glass discovered concealed in a ditch. That did it pretty plain for him, you see. He turned up first like a glazier and reconnoitred, and then he come along dossed up to clear out the stuff. Plain enough. It was quite a catch for a bit, but it didn't last. The Rozzers had to let him go. But they didn't let Ginger Bates and Joe Kelly go, though. Not them. Them 2 unfortunate speculators prowled about looking for me for some time, and about 12 o'clock at night they sailed in to do the job without me. Well, you see, by then it was a bit late for that place. The people was up all night listening for burglars everywhere, and there was 2 policemen there on watch as well. So Ginger Bates and Joe Kelly was collared holus bolus, and thereby prevented rainin' unproper claims to stand with what I'd scraped up myself. And now they've been wearin' knickerbockers theirselves for more'n 2 years, and as soon as they've done their time, well, there's no knowin' but what they may make a matter of professional jealousy. What-oh! The End. End of A Burgling Incident by Arthur Morrison. Read by Algie Pug.